Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it's time for my client Alex's Dadbod to Daddy transformation vlog. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like and drop me a comment down below, I'd appreciate it so much. Let's get over to the training. So with Alex, for those who've been following for a while, we do 3 day a week full body. Right? Super busy guy, super busy career, super busy family man, band, gigs, all this stuff is a side hobby. Pretty serious musician on top of all of that. So again, we're just trying to always keep him fit, strong. We're still trying to get to that 315 bench. So he's hit the rest of my dad bod strength standards except the bench. Notice we do a lot of chest pressing. So notice all his days we either flat or incline bench. And the reason is because, chest limits, and he can do weighted pull-ups. He can do like 10 weighted pull-ups, with like a 25-pound plate. He deadlifts mid 400s. We've hit a 405 squat before. We've been doing reps with like 325, 330 for rep work on the squats, So all of that being said, he's got everything but the bench. But keeping in mind a lot of what we do with him, we've got about 45 minutes to an hour, up to about an hour, 3 days a week. So we're super efficient with it. So we need to be clear on that because he has limited training time. Even again, he trains at home. He built a home gym so that he can get this done, get his workouts in, and get on with his life. This is 3 hours a week, and all things considered, as far as compared to other dudes out there, he's in pretty dang good shape, right? And I think with a lot of guys out there, a lot of dads and really busy dads, this is kind of what they want for results. And I think people don't always realize that. A lot of really young guys who are chasing the influencers aren't realizing, man, you guys get about 35, 40. You're super busy, like you'll be thrilled to be where Alex is. And I think a lot of dudes, okay, I get a lot of guys who chime in are like, yeah, I agree. Right? I've had other people who've talked to me in consultations and other stuff who needed help with things, and they're like, honestly, yeah, I agree. I'd actually be kind of happy to be where he is. So this is what we mean when we talk about stuff as a dad bod, right? This is about where most guys would really want to be. And it's not as hard to do as people think. But the thing is you've got to be efficient. You have to be efficient. So what is it that we do with this training? It's a 3 day, it's an A and a B workout right now. So notice that workout A, we got 4 lifts. He does 3 sets of squats, 3 sets of bench, 3 sets of weighted pull-ups, and we do some curls. Why curls? Because we need some arm work, especially guys like him. I've said this before, he's in a t-shirt a lot, short sleeves a lot, doing dad stuff, doing band stuff. Man, a little bicep goes a long way. So we tend to keep in curls for guys like that, right? We tend to keep in the curls. I do that for all my dad bods, honestly. Like most of my dad bod guys do a little bit of direct arm work, whether it's some extensions or some curls, kind of depending on what they need, and that's the reason for it, right? That's the reason for it. A lot of times they're out in a t-shirt and they need to look like they lift in the t-shirt. And sometimes we need that. Yeah, being a big, thick chest and shoulders and back helps. But man, a little bit of bicep, a little forearm goes a long way. Now, we don't have to worry about forearms for most of my guys that much. Why? Because we do all our pulling without straps. They do deadlifts, pull-ups, sometimes rows, so we're good. But for his workout B, we usually do deadlifts. So you'll notice here, on deadlifts, I only do 1 top set though. All the other stuff, we do 3 sets. The deadlift being the exception. So we do 4 main exercises in reverse hypers if he has time. So again, this is very, very simple programming. I get a lot of guys who are shocked. They're like, how do you have some of your really long-term clients on really simple programming? And it's like, because they get results. And I think guys like Alex, guys like Taha, some of these other guys like Ryan, you guys see Client Ryan come through a lot of my lives on my different platforms, the tubes, YouTube, Facebook, all that. How do we keep these clients? People are always shocked at that. I'm like, because they get results. I think coaches forget this. I'll discuss briefly the rest of this and I'll go into a little diatribe on that. So then after the deadlift, we do incline bench, rows, overhead press. That's a full workout, man, with a bias towards pressing. We bias his training a little bit towards pressing because that's where he's weakest. And of course, he's got a reverse hyper. Again, every dad should probably have a reverse hyper. Wouldn't be a bad idea. We work that posterior chain further. All right? Work that posterior chain further. So, simple programming. And on that, I leave that open. We do up to 5 sets of that on workout B's if he's got the time for it. If he only gets 1 set in, not the end of the world, but we do as many of them as we have time for, up to 5. So, simple programming. And I've said this for a while. Clients who are getting results don't care if their programming is simple. Coaches have to get this through your heads. All these coaches want the most complicated program. They're like, but if I don't keep it complicated, how am I going to keep clients? Think about how terrible of a business model that is. If I don't make the programming complicated to confuse the client, I'm not going to have business. Whew. You understand how dishonest of a business model that is? You're making complexity that doesn't matter just to wow and impress the client. Instead of just giving them good coaching and saying, you know what, this client doesn't need complexity. They're not running a bunch of crazy conjugate. They're not peaking for an event on conjugate for a strongman event. Okay? Right? So you're giving them complexity they don't have to have that's making their training more complicated to follow. I don't know that that's ethical business, to be fair, guys. When you know the reality, man, what are clients paying you for? Clients paying you for complex, or are they paying you for results? But we need to be looking at, are they getting stronger? Are they getting more jacked? Is their body composition improving? Are they injury free? Do they hurt? Are they getting results? This is what we need to care about. And in my experience, the good clients, the people you want, the people who see value in it, who are going to stay on long term, that's all they care about. That's my reply, because I've been asked this before by some people. Occasionally comes up in a live stream. If you're going to run some of these guys with such simple programming, how do you keep clients? Because they're happy with their results. That's how you keep the fatigue management on point. They have accountability. They have fatigue management. You're keeping them injury free. You're keeping them moving forward. Okay, that's what matters. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.